I am going to speak a little louder now I'm just going to turn our attention away from this story, which we are going to return to in a few minutes with the other big breaking exclusive story that we have for you. And this is the next installment of what we are calling the Pakistan WikiLeaks cables, which are exclusive, of course, here on NDTV. And I'm going to take you through just one of them, which has really, really serious implications. Here's what came up in one of those cables. It's a report on how the Pakistan Air Force is finding sections of itself getting radicalized. A Pakistan Air Force commander says airmen are being radicalized. He goes on to say, you cannot imagine what a hard time we are having trying to get them to trim their beards. Pakistani airmen are engaging in acts of petty sabotage. Pakistani airmen are preventing PAF aircraft from being deployed in support of security operations along the Afghan border. Some of these people come from rural villages which are being radicalized by extremist Islamic clerics. Nidhi Razdan is joining us as well. Nidhi, I'm going to get you to discuss this and other cables in just a minute. But Lisa Curtis, I just want to toss to you this cable which we are making public for the first time about elements in the Pakistani Air Force being radicalized and sabotaging F-16s. Isn't that something that would keep you awake at night? Because to think radical elements have access to Pakistan Air Force planes is rather worrying, isn't it? And frightening.
It is, and I think we have seen in the past some links of the Pakistani Air Force to terrorist attacks inside Pakistan. One of the attempts on former President Musharraf's life, they saw that there was some involvement of some low-level Pakistani Air Force officials. So this has been a long concern. Are there elements within the military at the lower levels that are already cooperating with these radical elements, and what is their potential for creating sabotage within the government, for having access to Pakistan's nuclear weapons? These are real concerns that the U.S. and India should have. So I think this shows that we need to remain engaged with the leadership of Pakistan, but demand that the leadership take steps to root out any elements of extremism within the military services themselves.
All right. Ronan Sen, how alarmed are you by this report? Radicalization in the Pakistani Air Force. And they are sabotaging planes and sabotaging operations. Just a couple of days back, I was doing a special discussion here on how safe the Pakistani nuclear weapons are. And Pakistan goes on saying, don't worry, everything is safe, everything under control. Now, here's a WikiLeaks cable, which is talking about radical elements in the Pakistani Air Force. Refusing to trim their beards, sabotaging planes.
Well, Vikram, this is, I don't want to go into the, the whole WikiLeaks issue in a broad terms, in terms of assessments, not in terms of authenticity, but in terms of assessments. But this is something which we and the Americans and a number of others have been mulling about for quite some time, and we are concerned about this, the radicalization of the society there.
Okay.
In the United States, in Pakistan. And that is, I've discussed this, and this came up in discussions during my stay in the United Kingdom, in the United States, and elsewhere.
All right, fair enough. Tanveer Khan is now joining us, former Pakistani Foreign Secretary. And sir, two things I want to throw at you. Number one, the WikiLeaks cable that we've just made public is talking about the radicalization of elements in the Pakistani Air Force who are apparently sabotaging F-16s to prevent them from taking part in operations. How concerned are you if that was indeed to be the case?
Well, two quick points. One about the general society. I think I just heard it being sort of said that the Pakistani society is getting more radicalized. I think this is a wrong perception. The Pakistani society is getting less radicalized. It is getting re-radicalized. We have seen that the death of Osama bin Laden has not evoked any serious street protests, except from the lunatic fringe on the right. 95% or more people have actually either been silent or welcomed the news. I mean, there has been no reaction at all. There is a degree of much greater detachedness from that kind of terrorism than ever before.
All right.
And
So
then
I'm going to just
Air
interrupt
Force-
you to get in my colleague Ajay Shukla, who actually found this cable. Ajay, it's a cable that is talking about a rather worrying phenomena, isn't it? Sabotaging F-16s.
It's not just a worrying phenomena. What's worrying is that the Pakistan Air Marshal in charge of operations for the whole Pakistan Air Force is talking about this to an American. It shows how concerned he actually must be. Now, remember, the radicalization of the Pakistan Air Force is not something new. The first plot on Musharraf in 2003, it was traced back to Pakistani airmen. Now, the airmen are clearly getting radicalized more than the army. I don't know why, but this is not a new phenomenon, and it's something of grave concern.
NDTV's cricket app, Android and iPhone. Fastest scorecard, special analysis, and much more. Download free. ndtv.com/apps.